All right. Next conversation. Next conversation. This one is interesting. This one is interesting. We already have people. I get it. Expedition 33, amazing game. It's still my game of the year so far. But we got a tweet here. This hot off the presses. He said, damn, this is yappy. He said, honestly, Expedition 33 deserves game of the decade, not year, decade. Said, not just this year. Said, name anything in the last 5 years that tops it. I said, hold on. Hold your horses, buddy. Hold your horses. Because Elden Ring would like to have a word with you. Elden Ring would like to have a word with you. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it real quick. Expedition 33. Again, I think this person is saying this because of recency bias. I tell y'all about that all the time. Recency bias is the reason why some games end up at the end of the year not being a game of the year nominee, because people forget about it and it ends up coming out at the beginning of the year. In this particular case, you talking about the whole decade. So Expedition 33, if that was your game of the year, if you just found that game to be completely amazing, mind-blowing, then of course that's going to be the most recent thing in your mind. I don't know if you played Elden Ring, but you got some other contenders. You cannot just say game of the decade. Like, that's very bold. That's very bold of you. Elden Ring would like to have a word. Okay, let's talk about it. Expedition 33 had some similarities to Elden Ring in my opinion. Elden Ring came out like crack, bro. And a lot of people, including myself at the time, was not initially thinking I was going to play it, let alone like it. Now, keep in mind, I did come off of Sekiro, but Elden Ring was not Sekiro, okay? Elden Ring was not Sekiro. Elden Ring, when it came out, was a wildfire of word of mouth. You hear me? Elden Ring did not have that much marketing. It did not have that much marketing. Ended up getting it towards like after release, it started ramping up a lot, but Elden Ring didn't have a lot of marketing, or at least not that I saw in my opinion. Elden Ring was a pure word of mouth experience that I don't think we'll ever get back. It'll be very, very tough for another game to top what Elden Ring did for the overall community. There are people years later who are playing Elden Ring for the first time. Do you hear me, chat? For the first time. We have people still in the GI community. Shout out to Cammy. Finally beat Melania. She played Elden Ring for the first time. I'm seeing other people on my list playing Elden Ring for the first time years later. We are not talking about the DLC. We are talking about the base game. They are playing it like it is brand spanking new. That is crazy. It is years later. This game is still selling. This game is still selling. We found out all the tricks of the trade by talking to each other. By talking to each other. We knew nothing about this game. We were constantly saying, hey man, here's where the room farming spots are. Here's where you get this weapon. Here's where this secret boss is. It was wild back then. People who are just playing this game now know nothing about how Elden Ring felt for us back then at launch. You will never get that back. You had weapons that were broken back then. They ended up getting nerfed. Like, that's where the Mickey stuff came from. You know, I keep saying it, but that's where the Mickey stuff came from, bro. Like, it was a time. It was a time that I think that we'll never get back. It'll be very, very difficult for a game, just one game, to amount to the impact that that game had and still has on the entire video game landscape. Now, Expedition 33, I will say this. That game also did very well because of word of mouth. Now, I saw, again, Expedition 33. I saw it in the game previews, and I was like, hey, this game looks like a super fun Final Fantasy. That's what I thought it was going to be initially. I didn't really care about the story. I didn't know, I didn't care what it was talking about. I was actually very confused when I first started playing the game. But that Act 1, man, that Act 1 was some of the best, like, storytelling I have seen in a very long time in a video game. And I think because, again, from word of mouth, people started just talking about this game constantly, constantly, and constantly. And guess what? People who have never played any type of game like this, let alone like who don't play RPGs at all, let alone turn-based RPGs, because turn-based RPGs have kind of, well, I'm not going to say that, but a lot of people think that turn-based RPGs were kind of dead, right? But they don't play a lot of JRPGs. A lot of JRPGs are still turn-based. So people were saying, oh man, turn-based RPGs are back. Turn-based RPGs are back, just because they don't play them. And this was the game that, again, so many people were playing that other people wanted to play it because of that, because of word of mouth. We were shouting to the high heavens how good Expedition 33 was, and it made more people want to try it out. So it did have that word of mouth impact that didn't require a lot of marketing to be done. It was mainly us. It was the video game community that made that game way bigger than probably what it should have been. It was an amazing game. And the reason why I really love Expedition 33 outside of the gameplay, because the gameplay was immaculate. Gameplay was chef's kiss, but it was the story that really drew me in on Expedition 33. Once I found out what was going on, oh my God, the storytelling was immaculate. It was A1. So I give Expedition 33 that all day. But it's still, even after all of that, I still don't think that it can match the overall impact that Elden Ring had. The greatest example I can give, which again, you may get on me because Expedition 33 just came out, but the one argument I could give is, let's say, because I'm not going to say LeBron, but let's say Kobe versus Jordan, right? I think that Jordan is my GOAT. A lot of people say LeBron, some people say it's Kobe, but Jordan is my GOAT simply because, you may think that LeBron, is a better overall player. Like, obviously he's been playing the longest and he has, at this point, like the most records. But at the end of the day, I mean, LeBron may end up, by the time he's done, he may legacy wise or impact wise, in a lot of people's opinion, he may surpass Jordan. But I think that overall for the basketball landscape, because a lot of people just back in the day leading up to Michael's era and then past it, I think that Michael's impact is probably the biggest in the basketball landscape that we've ever seen. And again, this is my opinion, but I think that his impact is mainly the reason why I still hold Michael Jordan in such high regard compared to the other greats. Okay, now again, we're not gonna argue about basketball, but I'm just trying to paint a picture here. That's how I kind of feel about Elden Ring versus Expedition 33. I think the Elden Ring, even though you may find another game, another player that you feel has that sort of impact and it's just amazing, I still think that Elden Ring has the biggest impact, or the bigger impact, than Expedition 33. And again, I can more weigh this on facts rather than opinion here. I think that Expedition 33, at the end of the day, I think its impact on the video game landscape, mainly because there was a team of 30 people that made this freaking game, and they made this game such quality that shows y'all, even with a small budget and a small team, that they can make something of this quality. I think that that'll send shockwaves across the video game industry, that you don't have to spend all that money and you don't have to have 100+ people team in order to make something that's great. I think that will have an impact across the video game industry. But I think that Elden Ring, just from an overall impact standpoint and what that did for the community, and the fact that people are still buying the game and still playing the game, the base game, years later, I think that it's going to be hard to be touched. I think that's going to be hard to be touched. So that's just my opinion on it, but I think there are more facts, based on that overall sentiment there. Again, Expedition 33 is amazing, absolutely amazing, and I think it should get Game of the Year. But I just think that Elden Ring is just a totally different beast. It's a totally different beast. And the fact that people are still playing it today, the one thing that Expedition 33 I don't think will have is that super replayability. Just because it's more of a single player experience that really resonates with the story. Elden Ring doesn't have just an A to Z story. So people are just going in there and just messing around, and people are speed running and playing with so many different builds. There's so many, it's way bigger in replayability as well. than Expedition 33 is going to have, just because it's going to be limited by just the single player story experience. Because how many times are you going to experience that same story? In Elden Ring, you can skip bosses, you can go a million different ways to get to your objective and beat the game. So with that being said, there's just so many different ways that you can approach Elden Ring, and I think that's why it still has that overall impact, and people are still playing that game and replaying the game and replaying the game so many different times. New game plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, people just continue to play this game and they just don't stop because it's just that good. It's just that good. So again, no shade to Expedition 33. I love the freaking game, but I think it's still going to be limited for those reasons. And I just don't think it's the best. It's the game of the decade. That's Super Bowl. Some other people mentioned Baldur's Gate 3. Some people mentioned Baldur's Gate 3. I'm gonna go here just so y'all can see a couple of your comments. Somebody mentioned Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster. Yeah, Elder Scrolls was there. Elder Scrolls had a big impact on the gaming industry too, in the last decade. So Baldur's Gate 3, like I mentioned. So more people mentioned Baldur's Gate. This person mentioned Death Stranding 1 and 2. Still, Death Stranding 1 can you can get that up out of there. Death Stranding 2, I haven't played it, but again, there are some people that are saying that that's their game of the year. I still don't know, man. I don't know. The Last of Us 2, no, get that out of here. Absolutely not. Alan Wake 2, the great game, not game of the decade. So nah, his first in Mind's Eye usually. Mind's Eye. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, no. The person says Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I have no opinion on that one. So let's see. Nah, this is not even. Kingdom Come 2. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Nah. God of War Ragnarok. Nah. Last of Us 2. No. You definitely a Sony fanboy. You mentioned those two games. Nah. No. Elden Ring, I think is the only answer. I think the only other answer is probably, I mean, if you're a super fan, but I still don't think that Baldur's Gate 3 had that same impact as Elden Ring, but I'll kind of give you that. But like I said, it's gonna be hard, brother, to top Elden Ring. It's gonna be hard to top Elden Ring. But you thought that tweet Matt of the decade, now the past decade. I don't know. They sound like the last 10 years. I don't know what they're really measuring here. It just said game of the decade. So I don't know. I'm guessing the last 10 years from 2015 to 2025. I don't freaking know. So another person said Death Stranding 2. Like, people really know Death Stranding 2, man. Kingdom Come 2. Another one said Kingdom Come, Baldur's Gate, Elden Ring. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, anybody play Death Stranding 2 in the chat? Cause I don't. Said The Witcher. The Witcher? See, yeah, I don't know if anybody mentioned The Witcher here. Let's see if anybody mentioned The Witcher. I don't know, man. Like, I truly don't know what they mean. Said Wukong. No. Again, people just naming games here. I don't think they're really Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8. Come on now. Red Dead Redemption 2. No. So a lot of people are saying Baldur's Gate, Elden Ring. I don't know why people mention The Last of Us 2. Cyberpunk, nah. Cyberpunk ended up being great, but it took a while for it to be great. But nah, not the game of the decade. Not the game. People really mention The Last of Us 2, man. I cannot believe this. Man. That's wild. I don't know. Yeah, so many people. It's actually more people in this conversation mentioning Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't have an opinion on that, but I think Elden Ring clears, to be honest. I think Elden Ring clears. So anyways, but yeah, that's that. You know, you have your opinion on that. At the end of the day, it's subjective, but I think that if we're comparing Expedition 33 to Elden Ring, for example, I think Elden Ring got it, man. Yeah, Expedition 33 is great, but game of the decade, nah. Hold your horses. Pump your brakes there. They say you watch Ethos play the first night. Cool standing. Yeah, I played it a little bit too, man. I was just like, I can't do this. He was at work and pretty much both of us falling. So yeah, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. So that's that. All right. Get into some more random gaming news, and then we'll get to some gaming. Speaking of Elden Ring, I really thought we were done with this, but Elden Ring struggles on the Switch 2. Lasai. What up, Corliss? I think Baldur's Gate 3 is a better claim for the game. I mean, That's your opinion. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I really don't have no horse in that race because I didn't play Baldur's Gate 3. But I see a lot of people mentioning it in the comments. So, you know, it is what it is. But back to Elden Ring on the Nintendo Switch 2. Is anyone surprised in the chat that Elden Ring is struggling on the Switch 2? I'm gonna be honest. I was hoping that since Nintendo brought out this Switch 2, that finally we would get over the port allegations, and any game that decided to launch at the same time as the Xbox and the PlayStation and the PC. But here we are. You've had years, Nintendo. You have had years. We again mentioned Elden Ring is not a new game. And for some reason, we are still struggling on the Switch 2. Why? Let's continue to read this article. All right, Elden Ring is coming out on the Switch 2, and it reportedly is struggling to run on the console. According to Nintendo Life's Felix Sanchez, who spent time with the game while at Gamescom. So Gamescom is bringing out a lot of news. The game has serious performance issues on the Switch 2 when playing in handheld mode. This is again a problem. You should not be relegated to playing the Switch on the TV in docked mode in order to actually be able to play the game properly. It should be able to, at bare minimum, be decent in handheld mode. Okay. So they continue here, performance-wise, here at the big first night. As soon as you step outside, the frame rate drops quite substantially. Oh man, Digital Foundry is gonna have a field day. Digital Foundry is going to have a field day. Sanchez said while mentioning that it's always locked at 30 frames per second. Oh my God. Again, I can't play anything at 30 frames per second, man. It's like almost, I can't do it. He then continues, you get to the outside world and the frame rate just tanks. It's really bad, and I understand why they don't want you to see this. Big yikes, Nintendo. We can't get it right, man. I don't know. Y'all try to appeal to, you know, other third parties and get their games on your console, and even years, you know, the game is years old and we're still having these same problems that you did with the original Switch. You know, the only games that you all can seem to get right because you all make them in-house are your first party games, the Marios, the Zeldas, and the other first party game that you make. Why can we never get this right with third-party games? People want to play other games on your console, and unfortunately, they can't because they all suck performance-wise. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to still play them on the PlayStation and the Xbox and the PC. So therefore, you just lost a sale because you can't get it right. And it sucks. He said, are we blaming Nintendo or FromSoft? I'm blaming Nintendo. I'm blaming Nintendo because because any other third-party developer, just like the original Switch and any other console that came before that, they are subject to the hardware that's in the console. And who made the Switch 2? Nintendo. If they had this problem with the original Switch because it's not powerful enough, then the Switch 2 comes out and it's still not powerful enough, then Nintendo is the problem. That's simple. It's Nintendo. Like, that's an easy question. Come on now, it's Nintendo. It says Cyberpunk is worldwide. Again, I'm not saying this is going to happen with every game. It's not going to happen with every game. But if this is a consistent issue with your new hardware, then again, I can't blame anybody but Nintendo. I'm not saying that From Software and other developers are completely absolved from the problem. But again, they are working with the hardware that you gave them. Therefore, you are the problem, unfortunately. Or let's rephrase that. You take the majority of the blame. Nintendo takes the majority of the blame here, regardless. Okay. So let's continue this article. He says it is terrible. Like he just like ripping into this. It is terrible. Of course, you're never going to see the light of this because, well, maybe it'll release in that state, but I can't imagine it will. Yeah, I really hope that they take some more time on this game if this is true, which I don't think that they're lying, because again, they were at Gamescom actually playing it. So I mean, it's just not good news here. Sanchez said that it felt like 20 frames per second and sometimes as low as 15. It wouldn't happen, he said, during the most simple stuff. Yikes. As far as the positive, Sanchez did say while it doesn't look as good as PC or PlayStation, as should be expected, it did look really good. Well, at least it looks good, but that doesn't mean anything if it plays like crap, because 30 frames per second is already bad. But if you're dropping to 20, 15, like, that's not good at all. It's unplayable. I mean, 30 frames per second is already unplayable in my opinion, but anything under that, no, it's a slideshow. You can't play that. So on the hopeful bright side, because it sounds like just a straight port, unfortunately, I don't know how optimized it From Software make, and that's where again they take the blame here. So I'm hoping that Dust Bloods, because that is a game being made for the Switch, I hope that they don't have that same issue. I hope that they don't have that same issue, because I do want to get a Switch 2 to play Dust Bloods, or find a way to allegedly play it on my Steam Deck. Don't quote me on that. So I do want to play Dust Bloods, and that's a game again being made for the Switch 2. So I'm hoping it doesn't have this issue, because if it does, we're gonna have some problems. We gonna have some problems if that game also had a performance issue. So hopefully From Software is better optimizing Dust Bloods for the Switch 2, and hopefully this is just a bad port, but I still want them to get it right, because again, this is just not a good look if your game is playing like crap on Nintendo's new hardware. So you ain't buying Switch 2 for it. I feel you. So all right, next bit of news, which isn't official. I actually thought it was official, but Xbox and Asus are delaying the Xbox Ally price reveal. So I actually talked about it, or I tweeted and said my opinion on this, but some alleged prices came out for the price of the Xbox Ally, the regular one, and then the Xbox Ally X. So if you wanted to know, the regular Xbox Ally was rumored to be $549, and the X was allegedly $899, which is just, any y'all buying this for $899? That's a lot, man. I'm sorry. That's a lot. And I'm like, okay, we already have the PS5 that is going up in the US to $549. We already had the Xbox went up in price. So you're saying that the regular Xbox Ally is the same price now as a PS5, same price as the console, and the X is more than all of them? Is $899? I'm like, you might as well, I'm sorry, you might as well just get a PC, bro. Just get a PC. Because I'm gonna tell you, you're not going to have as good of a time as you think. Even if all the games that you play on the Xbox Ally X are optimized, I don't think you're going to have such a good time playing on such a small handheld. Yes, it's portable. Yes, you can walk around with it, maybe for your lifestyle, but still, $899 is asking for a lot. That's asking for a lot, y'all. I would not recommend it. That's a lot. And I wanted Microsoft to get this right. But again, these prices are alleged. Let's read this article so we can get more context, because apparently they're going to go back to the drawing board on this one after these prices allegedly leaked. So Microsoft and Asus have delayed the reveal of the pricing for the Xbox ROG Xbox Ally handheld PC after confirming the release date of October 16th. So that's when these consoles are coming out, October 16th. And as Gamescom, Steam, and social media accounts on Wednesday, one thing stood out was the lack of pricing. Microsoft says that the delay of an official price is due to macroeconomic conditions. You gotta love when like they just use words that like, what are you talking about? Just say you want to make this more because of, you know, this whole Trump stuff with the tariffs and whatnot. You're trying to test the waters. You're trying to see what it's looking like, what people will actually be willing to pay for. and you're gonna try to adjust the prices according to what people will pay for. Just say that. You don't have to say macroeconomic conditions. What the hell does that mean to the average consumer? That means nothing, bro. They don't even know what macroeconomics are. Come on now. It said, and the company will announce full details in the coming week. So again, these ledger prices might change. We'll see. However, per those on the floor at Gamescom, that might not necessarily be the case. I think they're going to stick with these prices, to be honest. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they still come out like, yeah, these are the prices. According to Xbox Era's John Clark, word on the grounds is following the leak prices, Asus and Microsoft closely monitored reactions. I don't think they got any good reaction. Did y'all see any good reactions to these prices? Because I did not. I'm sorry. I think that they missed the mark. If these are the actual prices that y'all are trying to come out with, I think y'all missed the mark. How much is the regular Xbox Ally? Let's check it out because I haven't looked in a minute. Wrong Ally. How much are these now? Let's see. I think I saw $4.99 there, but let me switch to the US website. You are. Yep. So $4.99. So if the regular Xbox Ally, but because all that you're really getting is just you're getting the Xbox UI on it, and you're getting the handles. That's the only difference with the regular one, and maybe some slight spec tweaks. But the regular one is $4.99, and then this one is $6.49. So you mean to tell me that you're going to make the Xbox Ally X $8.99 when they only have two versions here and the highest tier is $6.49? That's just, like I said, I think they missed the mark on that one badly. If these are the prices that y'all wanted to drop with, I think y'all missed the mark. Maybe not so much on the regular one, but for that X, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's not going, bro. And nobody should buy that. Just because you want to put handles on it and make it all fancy look like the Xbox branding, just because it has more powerful stuff under the hood, I don't think it's worth $8.99. That's wild. So like I said, not too much of a difference here. You got an 8-core here versus a 6-core. Let's see, the graphics card goes up to 2.7 with 8.6 teraflops, and this was 2.5 with 2.8 teraflops. Same display. That doesn't change. So really the only difference is just the processor and the GPU. They both have 512. Nothing different on the SSD either. Nothing different on the IO ports. Like, all this stuff is the same. All this stuff is the same. So yeah, and that, you're really just paying for a slightly beefier CPU and GPU. That's it. So let me make sure, because I want to make sure I get this right. Let me because I want to do Xbox Ally. Let me see what the specs are again for this one. All right, so and then you can get see the Xbox Ally 16 gigs of RAM, 512, and the X is 24 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage. Do they have what the full specs are here? Let's see, compare. There we go. All right, so processor, they have the Ryzen AI Z2 Extreme. So instead of the Ryzen Z1 processor, they have the Z2 Extreme, okay? In the X, and then the regular Z2 A processor. And then memory, 24 gigs, 16 gigs, and then 1 terabyte storage, 512 here. So more, no, because these have 512. These have 512 of storage, and then both of them have 16 gigs. So again, this one, because you have you're basically paying for the processor. You're paying for the processor on this one. That's the only reason why they justified, or allegedly justified $50 more here. That's the only reason. This one, Okay, you get 24 gigs of memory, you get 1 TB, and then you get an extreme here. So I don't see that in my opinion. I don't see that in my opinion justifying $899. $899 compared to, again, this one is $649. And the only difference is, again, you have a Z1 Extreme and you have a Z2 Extreme in that one, and you have 24 gigs of RAM instead of 16 and a terabyte of storage. Like that justifies $899. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, if these are the real prices, y'all missed the mark. Are these both regular allies? These are, yeah, basically they're the regular ally, but they have handles because they want it to look like a controller, like an Xbox controller, and then they have the Xbox branding on it. That's the main difference between the Xbox allies and the regular ROG allies when you don't have handles. That's the only real difference outside of what's under the hood. It's just slightly upgraded under the hood. Instead of a Z1 processor, you have a Z2 processor. You still have the same memory in the Xbox Ally. You have 16 gigs. You have 512 gigabytes of storage. And then in the X, you have a Z2 Extreme. You have 24 gigs of memory, and you have a terabyte of storage. But in this version, in this upgraded version, again, you have an Extreme. You have a Z1 Extreme. So the previous version. And then you still have the same memory, and you still have the same storage as this one. So I don't know, man. So that's how you think both are allies instead of one being an X. Nah, it says it here. It says it here. ROG Ally, ROG Xbox Ally X is here, and then the ROG Xbox Ally is here. So no, these are both. These are the ones I'm talking about. That's why I compare both. So no, they're. This is the X here. It said not the Xbox tab, the ROG tab. These are the only ones that I see. Unless there are other ones, but these are the only ones that I see here. Yeah, are there other ones? These are only two that I see. I mean, if there are more, then let's see. I don't know. Yeah, so they're showing that there, but okay, hold on. This one is here. This ROG Ally. Hold on. No. Oh, okay. All right, hold on. This one is here too. Okay, so what is this one? So this is the ROG Ally X. Okay, so they have this one too. Okay, and then the ROG Xbox Ally 2025. This one came out last year. This is an X. Okay, so what's? Okay, let's check this one in. Okay, okay. So this one is 800. Okay, all right. So sorry about that. Okay, so there is another version. Okay, so what's the difference with this one? Let's see. Okay, so there is an X. All right, tech specs. What's the difference in this one? Okay, all right, my bad. So this was this one. All right, so what's the difference? Okay, so you still have an Extreme. You still have a Z1 Extreme. So nothing different there. Okay. Okay. So you have 12 gigs on board memory? Question mark times 2. Okay, or squared. Okay. So 24. Why didn't they? Why you say that? Okay, that's all right. Anyway, okay. Then this one has 1 terabyte. This one has 2 terabytes. Okay. 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 But this one doesn't have a price. This one, okay, these are out of stock. Okay. All right. So this one, this Ally X is 800. Okay. So, all right. So compared to this one, so you're charging the extra 100 allegedly. Okay. So you're charging the extra 100 for this. So so how much is this one then? Is this one 900? I don't know why it doesn't have a price. I'm gonna say notify me. Is this one 900? Or is this one a So this one is 900? Ah, it is 900. Okay, so they are charging the same price. All right. All right, let's kind of take that back. I take that back then because the X. All right, I wasn't aware of that one. Okay, so you do have this one, and it is 900. I still, I'm still going to keep my same sentiment because I think at this point you're still trying to appeal to the average gamer, and you're trying to sell it as an extension of the Microsoft brand. I still, yeah. I mean, I'm still sharing the same sentiment. I wouldn't get this one either. I still wouldn't get this one. I mean, this is $900. I still wouldn't get this one. Like, it just, I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me. It doesn't appeal to me, and it really shouldn't appeal to anyone, to be honest. Like, what are you really trying to do on here that you can't do getting a regular PC or just getting a console for cheaper? I don't know. Because it's still not going to, like, even if you try to dock it, like, I don't know why you would get a handheld to dock it, to be honest. Like, unless, again, it's a Switch, Switch is a different story. But why would you get it to dock it? I don't know, because, like, if you want the better experience, like, just, again, get something else that would work better for you. Unless, like, your thought process is, oh, man, I just dock it when I'm at home and then play it on the go. But, like, how much you want to go, and what type of experience are you truly trying to have? Like, I don't know. It's a DCG. Yeah, I don't know. This is my opinion. I just don't think that it really appeals to the people who you were trying to make it appeal to, which again is the average consumer, your demographic, your Xbox loyalist fan base. I think like the enthusiasts are going to buy the Ally X anyways, but I don't know. I just think that price. Okay. Now that I see that this is 900, I guess that makes a little bit more sense why that price allegedly was also 900. But again, like I said, I don't think if those are the prices, I don't think, especially if this one is $899, you're not going to modify it. Now this confirms that I think that they're going to keep that the same price. I think they're going to keep that the same price because it's in line with what Asus was already doing with the Ally X. So that's tough, man. This is going to be a tough one, but I just don't think that it's. I don't think that it's feasible. I don't think that is feasible. I mean, if you get it, you get it, but I just don't think that this appeals to the average gamer, the average consumer, your fan base. So we'll see. But if they're monitoring it, yeah, they're truly trying to see like, hey, what's happening there? What's going on. So let's see. Does Best Buy have good gaming PCs? No, not really. Not really. You can check, but I don't really like be looking at the spec. Last time I looked, like they still had CyberPower PCs, and we know the CyberPower PCs are some of the worst PCs you can buy, but they have some of those there. And let's see what else, just for the hell of it. Let's see what they have, because I don't look at the specs of any PC that they have there. But let's see. They have computer section. Computers and tablets. Let's see. PC gaming. Let's see what Best Buy has. Let's give it a quick look. See. Remember last time you went to Best Buy for anything? Yeah, it's been a while. The only time I go there is like when I really need to. Like I went and got some headphones the other day because they were the only place that had it. The specific one that I was looking for. Oh, they do have Asus PCs. They have HP. CyberPower, again, don't. And under any circumstance, do not get a CyberPower PC. Don't. Just don't. Trust me. iBuyPower as well. Both of those. Don't. Just avoid them. Don't be that. I don't think you can be that desperate that you need to get any of those PCs. But I know many of content creators back in the day tried CyberPower and tried iBuyPower, and they definitely did not have a good experience. And this is why they are not reputable. So just trust me, don't get them. The Amazon PC, those two. Definitely been at least 5 years and being inside of Best Buy. Yeah, same thing with me in GameStop. I have no reason to go in there. So I mean, if you had to, I mean, I would probably recommend getting the Asus out of this list here. Get an Asus, maybe the HP. Yeah, but they have Asus. CLX, I would recommend a CLX too. CLX is good. They have an Acer Alienware. I mean, that looks like a fridge. It looks like a mini fridge. I had one of those actually. That was one of my first gaming PCs. I had an Aurora. Obviously, it looks much different in the case design, but I had one of Thermaltake. I recommend Thermaltake 100%. These aren't bad though. I mean, this one is 1799. He has a 5070 Intel Core i7, 32 gigs of RAM. So 1 terabyte and NVMe. Let's see, what's this? This one also same. Also has a 5060 Ti. Intel Core 7. Okay, so 1 terabyte SSD. So SSD instead of NVMe. Thermaltake, which one? This is 769. So this is, I mean, this is budget, but say that an AMD Radeon. Pretty much anything that's gonna be budget is gonna have an AMD instead of Nvidia, because AMD is more, consumer friendly. Shout out to AMD. Shout out to AMD. Let's see, it has a Ryzen 5. Okay. So this isn't terrible. I don't know what the general consensus is on that particular graphics card, but I think that's a decent budget PC. I think they will go with the lower brand for any PC part. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. This CLX, what does this one have? Intel Core i5, 16 gigs of RAM, has a 4060 in it. Not terrible. It's Acer, has a Ryzen 9, 32 gigs of RAM, and has 5070. This one's nice. $100 cheaper too than these Thermaltakes down here in the Alienware. Let's see this other Asus here, another budget one. So i5, 16 gigs of memory, 5060. That's not bad. Not bad. Let's see HP Omen. Let's see what you got. Ryzen 7. You have 16 gigs. You have a 5060. Not terrible. So yeah, these aren't bad. These aren't bad. Just if you have to, let's see, this is like the top of the line. Well, this is the most expensive one. Let's see what this one has. Ryzen 7, 32 gigs, has a 5070 Ti. Okay, 5070 Ti. I don't know, dang, that justifies being 23.99. Okay, whatever. So yeah, these aren't bad up here. These Asus aren't bad. I mean, it's the same one. I don't know why they show it twice. What's the difference? Yeah, ain't no difference. The same thing. So yeah, these aren't terrible, but this one is fine. What is this is 5,000? Not this CyberPower being 5,000. As a Ryzen 9, 64 gigs of memory, and a 5090. How much is a 5090? How much is a 5090? Damn. Cards are 2,800. Walmart has this one with 25. So it's averaging between 25 and 28. Damn. Just for one graphics card. Oh my Lord. Wow. That's insane. This costs more. The graphics card alone costs more than all of these PCs here. Every single one. Every single one except for this one. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, man. That's woof. Way too much. Way too rich. That's a way too rich. Way too rich for my blood. Holy crap. What up, TS King? You just bought the part for your PC? Damn. Well, 5070, you called me 2,400. Yeah, man. That's again, what you just bought for your PC. you still can't even afford these graphics cards. It was 5090. That's insane. So this is why they're justifying this for being $5,000. Sheesh. I remember my last PC with $5,000 because I had a 3090. I had the 3090 in that joint in it, and that was a 5K PC. And man, oh man. So Best Buy isn't terrible, but like I said, if you just have to go there, don't get a CyberPower PC. Don't get an iBuyPower one either. You can get anything else. I recommend Asus, HP, kind of, but Asus and Thermaltake and Acer. I recommend those. So there you go. But that's my thoughts on that. So we'll see if the actual prices, the official prices, come out for the Xbox Ally and the X. But I think these prices are legitimate. I think they will stick, especially if the Ally X that is out right now is $899. Yeah. So if this is not your demographic, then yeah, I think a lot of people are going to skip. There will be some people that will get the Ally, the Xbox Ally, but that Ally X, man, is going to be a tough one to sell. That's going to be a tough one to sell. So That's it. That's it. That's all the yapping that